Today's episode of the Wrestle Arc Podcast is brought to you guys by SeatGeek.com. Vega, you better shut the fuck up while I'm doing this. Folks, SeatGeek is the #1 sponsor of the Wrestle Arc Podcast. Be sure to go to SeatGeek.com or download SeatGeek on your mobile devices today. SeatGeek is the #1 spot where you can get tickets for Broadway shows, comedy shows, sporting events, what have you. Not only does SeatGeek give you the best seats and tickets, but it also helps you give the best deals so you don't get screwed over when buying tickets. Be sure you guys go to SeatGeek.com, that's SeatGeek.com, to get tickets today, or download it on your mobile device today. We also like to thank our other sponsors, TeePublic.com. TeePublic.com is where you can get the official merchandise for the Wrestle Arc Podcast. You can get shirts such like Bring on the Trolley, which is Liam's t-shirt, Ross's Cue the Explosion t-shirt, and, of course, Peyton Cash's Fake Wrestling Fan t-shirt. You can get all of that stuff at tpublic.com, tpublic.com. Be sure to go to the description to find it. Hello, everybody. We're here, the Wrestle Arc Podcast. We got 4 people today. We got Peyton over there.
Hello.
I was about to say, we got the motherfucker who interrupted me, Vega.
Hi.
What is wrong with your mic? There is so much static. Wait, whose mic is static?
It's Vega.
Oh, that's Vega. Vega, what is wrong with your mic?
Probably mine.
Do you have a fan on?
Maybe it's my internet. I don't know. No.
I don't know. But we also got Liam.
What's going on?
You shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up. Anyway, we're here to do a couple things. We're going to be recapping the big pay-per-view that was SummerSlam, what has happened on Monday Night Raw, and AEW Dynamite. But first, I think we need to recap SummerSlam because there was a good amount of stuff that happened on that show. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Somewhat.
Why don't we go in the order that everything has happened? So, we started the show with what we thought would be one of the best matches of the night in Logan Paul versus Ricochet. There was a bunch of stuff that happened in the match, some unique spots. Logan Paul did a buckshot lariat off the top rope and onto the mat, which was pretty cool. He also did a Spanish fly off the apron, which Ricochet countered, and he did a Spanish fly of his own, which was also pretty cool. But in the end, it was Logan Paul who cheated and he punched Ricochet with brass knuckles to get the victory.
Whoa. Yeah, that was a wild match. Like as you said, I think from the word go, it's pretty much pretty fast paced. A lot of spots, as you already mentioned. I think it delivered on most of the fronts, and brass knuckles really solidified that Logan Paul is a heel who will win by any means necessary, sort of thing. And it does beg the question, do Ricochet and Logan Paul perhaps resume at some point down the line? Although Logan is going to be a bit busy because he's got a fight with Dylan Dennis coming up soon.
I think at some point they do continue their rivalry, but I feel like Ricochet is going to have a different rivalry before continuing with Logan Paul.
I agree. But he had I think that must have been his manager or somebody, because I think that guy oversees.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it might have been Logan Paul's manager.
Yeah, he was allowed to
who helped him out.
Hand him the nuts, and then but his right hand's already made of titanium apparently, so that's
Wow.
But the reason that match obviously went on first is so that Logan could go watch his little brother fight.
Yeah. And presumably both Paul brothers ended up winning their fights that day. So it was a dub for the Paul brothers.
I think Jake did in fact beat Nate Diaz by unanimous decision. So
it was by unanimous decision.
Next match.
But that was pretty. Next match was one of the few main events of SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. The end of that trilogy. It was a pretty hectic match. It looked like Brock was beating him up a bunch, but Cody ended up fighting back. Brock Lesnar got his pants ripped. Cody did a bunch of crossroads. Cody got the win clean over Brock Lesnar, and in the end, Brock did this unplanned spot where he showed his respect to Cody Rhodes and shook his hand.
Yeah, again, like, just as a match as a whole, I think compared to the first two, I feel like this one greatly delivered over the other two. I don't know if anyone would agree with me on that front, but I thought of the three matches they've had, it was the best. I did like, the psychology of this match was built around Cody basically being told to stay down by Brock on the outside. Pretty much Brock was like, I'm okay with winning by count out because I've already beat the shit out of you. But and then Cody's like, nah, I'm gonna keep going. And then I think there was, like, as we said, the whole sequence towards the end where I think they both did Kimura locks. Cody did a couple Cody covers, and then Cody wrapped up.
Cody did that.
Triple cross.
Cody did that one really cool Cody cutter where he'd lead from the second rope to the top and then do the Cody cutter.
Yeah, he did like the standard one at first, and then he ran upward to the I'd say that on the left side.
He scaled the ropes.
And then
yeah, he scaled the ropes. Brock's pants got destroyed.
Oh my god, yeah.
At first there was like one hole, and then everything else came apart.
In the process of destroying Cody Rhodes, he destroyed his own pants. So
yeah,
Brock's gonna need some new ring gear.
Yeah, Payne and Vega, what did you think of that match?
I honestly love that match, to be quite honest with you. The thing is, I was the only one out of everyone who got Logan Paul, so...
We're talking about Cody and Brock.
Oh.
Everyone,
we gotta
do it. Hashtag fake wrestling fan.
Yeah.
We had to do it.
Listen. I honestly thought that I hated that match between Cody and Brock 3. Because Cody just got his shit kicked in for like a few minutes. And it comes out, guns blazing, wins. Like, really? Like, Brock literally toyed with him for like a good 10 or so minutes. And then Cody just... Yeah. No.
I mean, to be fair, Cody had his fair share of offense. He did Cody cutters. He even had a Kimura lock in at one point on Brock.
Yeah,
it was still kind of back and forth.
It was more back and forth than like the other two, because the other two were only about 10 minutes each, whereas this one was about 70 minutes and 35 seconds according to Wikipedia. But yeah, as I said at the beginning of us covering this little part, I thought compared to the other two matches, this one delivered a lot more. And I think like a show of respect after the match, sort of, even, as you said, it wasn't planned. That was Brock saying, yeah, we're cool, you're cool, that was good, thank you very much, see you later, I'm off till about WrestleMania season. Because yeah, that's the big news out of this, is that Brock Lesnar is not going to be back until around WrestleMania season. So for this year, he's done.
Yeah. So Brock, we're not going to be seeing Brock for a little while longer. But next match we had was one I think almost everyone was looking forward to, if you're a lead. The SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal.
Yeah.
But something we didn't expect before the match began, we were introduced to a returning Nigerian giant named Omos.
No.
Boo.
He came back. When he came out, everyone was like, oh god, he's gonna win, isn't he? But later on into the match, he got eliminated. Everyone teamed up to eliminate the big bad Omos.
Yeah.
And when we got to the final three, it consisted of AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Sheamus. AJ Styles was going to look for a phenomenal forearm, but got distracted by Karrion Kross and got eliminated by Sheamus. And then when it came down to Sheamus and LA Knight won by leaping onto the top rope, doing a belly-to-belly off the top rope and then eliminating Sheamus afterwards, which made LA Knight the winner of the SummerSlam Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I think they did that.
Yeah.
I think they put that Battle Royal in there just to give LA Knight a SummerSlam moment.
Which,
Yeah.
to be honest, I thought was the winner was the right choice. Like, especially because, like, the fans have been clamoring for LA Knight to like do something. Yeah, the SummerSlam Battle Royal has pretty much led to nothing for all the guys involved as of right now. I mean, it's only been a few days, but you know, I think
Even the United States champion Austin Theory was in that Battle Royal.
he was, and he didn't even
Was.
get an entrance.
Speaking of Austin Theory, tomorrow he's going to be defending his United States title against Santos Escobar.
And not gonna lie, I expect him to win because, yeah, they have nothing for him really. It's, creatively, his title run has been mediocre.
I feel like Santos should win. I think Santos could do something good with the title.
Really.
Yeah, because
If they have nothing planned for Austin Theory, why have the title on him anyway?
Yeah, but what would they do with
yeah.
Santos Escobar after the fact? Because LWO haven't had any reasonable program unless they just go straight for Santos Escobar versus Rey Mysterio. I don't know.
I mean, they've already kind of done Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar, haven't they?
Yeah,
Like a
they
few weeks
have.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
They really need
Oh,
to start
that
putting
ended.
some storylines attached to that mid-card title on SmackDown though, otherwise, you know. It
Yeah.
seems like on the SmackDown you just get lost below the Bloodline storyline.
There was a point where the United States title became the main title on Raw because Roman Reigns had the WWE title and he wasn't showing up every week anymore. Now that it's on SmackDown, it's not really getting the showcase it had last year. Because last year when Bobby Lashley had the title, it was really, really good. He had a really good run because he was defending it every week.
I think
Now,
the reason,
yeah.
I think the reason is just that obviously they get heel champions to not defend the title that much, unless your name's Gunther, because he defends it quite a bit, both on TV and pay-per-view. But
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Speaking of the IC title, I'm actually glad it's finally being defended on pay-per-views. Because a few years ago, I wasn't getting that kind of respect.
as
but now with Triple H in charge, it is.
well, it's one of the oldest championships WWE currently has, besides the WWE title, of course. But again, I think Gunther has obviously brought a level of prestige back to that belt. And has elevated
Definitely.
it. And obviously, I hope he breaks on the top man's record, which is, as we keep saying on this podcast, in September. It's like literally next month, like this time next month, pretty much.
He practically just about has less than a month now. But anyway, that was the SummerSlam. Yeah, that was the SummerSlam Battle Royal. The next match we had was an MMA rules match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit slow for a match. It kind of felt a bit off considering it was MMA rules, but it ended with Shayna Baszler making Ronda Rousey pass out. Shayna beat Ronda at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Definitely the right choice.
it was the obvious choice to have Shayna get put over. But apparently, some fake wrestling fan didn't think so. Hayden Cash over here
I hate
thought different.
Yeah, he thought that Ronda Rousey, who obviously is now, as all the reports were saying before the show, was set to leave WWE to pursue other interests. So, naturally, the only result he saw was like, oh, Ronda has to win, she has to go out on a high. No, that's not how it works.
And ever since SummerSlam, Peyton has shut up.
You put somebody else over if you're leaving the company. That obviously was Shayna's case. I thought Shayna looked really good in victory here. I mean, I can understand the criticism of the slow pacing, I get it, but it seemed more like a fight than a wrestling match. Like, hell, even Shayna Baszler showed up with a black eye on Monday, so
Yeah.
it seemed pretty real to me.
It kind of did. To
My
be
money
fair.
was on. Oh, my money was when she got kneed in the face. That's probably what did it.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
No,
when Ronda
looked-
Rousey kneed her in the face.
Yeah, that looked pretty nasty. Fractured orbital bone, apparently.
Was Shayna the first person in WWE to make Ronda Rousey lose by submission?
I think so, yes.
think so, yeah.
Liv Morgan, when
Yeah.
she cashed
Probably, yeah.
Money in the Bank, she pinned her off in Oblivion.
Yeah.
So,
Any other time Ronda lost, she got pinned. But moving
Yep.
on from that, we move on to the other half of the show, starting with the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Drew McIntyre. This was a chop fest, literally.
Yeah.
big meaty man.
It was just
slapping-
two
Big-
guys.
Meaty man slapping man meat.
That sounds very bad
Yes.
the way you put it, but yes.
That's what she said.
It was a big back and forth, but in the end, Gunther was the one to pin Drew McIntyre with 2 power bombs to retain the IC title. And after the match, there was an exclusive where Drew McIntyre did not look happy at all and left the building angry.
Probably means his feud may resume again down the line, but at the moment, seems like Gunther's next challenger will be Chad Gable.
We are going to be getting Chad Gable versus Gunther for the title down the line. Whether it's on Raw, whether it's on Payback, who knows? We all know Chad Gable is the next challenger.
I'll ask this question though. When Gunther breaks the record, should it be Drew McIntyre who beats him, or should it be Chad Gable? Because I'm of the opinion it should be Chad Gable.
I'd love it. I'd love for it to be Chad Gable. It would be incredible to see him win the title.
It would be, yeah.
He's one of those guys that were in for a long time. One of those guys who were known as underrated for the longest of time. It would be cool to see him finally get a singles title.
Oh yeah.
I think
sure.
as of right now, he's on the best run of his career, Chad Gable. Like, the thing he's doing with Alpha Academy, with Otis, with Max and Dupree, they're all getting good reactions from fans all across America and the world, actually, because they got quite a good reaction here in the UK. And if they were even here for that, I don't know, probably not. But they probably worked a few live shows here. I heard some stuff. But yeah, because Chad Gable for me, again, brings out as massively underrated and what have you, but I think he should be fairly rated. He's a wrestler's wrestler. Again, he seems like the type of wrestler who would hold the Intercontinental Championship.
He's another one of those, like, I'm not saying this like be disrespectful to other wrestlers, but like has one of those legit wrestling backgrounds, like an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, and has had background experience as well. So he knows his craft.
Absolutely, he does. But he's also not afraid to get down and dirty, and he may have to not only like wrestle Gunther, but actually try and fight him, because as we know, Gunther likes to slap people.
Gunther's a brawler.
He likes to kick people, punch people.
He's a hard hitter.
What I want to see is, will he be able to get Gunther up for the Chaos Theory? Because that would be nuts.
I don't know. The thing is, Gunther is actually kind of a mix of like a hard hitter, and he can also be a good technician when he needs to as well. He can do both pretty well.
He's a trademark European wrestler. Like, they hit hard, and they're also very good technically.
Wrestling!
Yeah.
It's all about the wrestling.
The wrestling.
Wrestling. The Intercontinental title match was good, but what about the World Heavyweight Championship match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins? There was a lot
that was
of back
good.
and forth in this match.
That was a good match.
There were There were moments when we thought Finn was going to lose. He got stomped. He kicked out. Judgment Day came out to try and help. There was a bit of distraction there. Finn Balor at one point hit a coup de grace, and we thought that was the moment, but Seth kicked out of there. But Damian Priest, that was the man of the hour because he left his briefcase in the mat. Finn Balor tried to grab the briefcase, but instead he got stomped under the briefcase, causing Seth to retain the title. And Damian Priest, he just gave a cold stare to Finn Balor afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I thought like it looked like it could have been almost deliberate the way he did it, but Damon's reasoning later on was apparently I tried to help you, but I don't know, the way he looked at Seth afterwards, it kind of looked like he was like, you know what, I don't even care that I've cost Finn the match here, and again, this is going to further sow the seeds of dissension in the Judgment Day, particularly between Finn and Damon Priest.
Yeah.
But for me, this would have been like such a good opportunity for like Finn Balor to win, because he's been, again, much like Chad Gable, doing the best work of his career alongside the Judgment Day as a heel, having a top guy. But again, I think Seth's not really held the title long enough, and they're trying to make that one a bit prestigious as well.
Yeah, I feel like they want to give Seth a title run for the ages.
Absolutely.
And also,
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, but I also kind of feel like that was Finn Balor's last opportunity as well. I feel like he might not get another opportunity like that again, which makes me bummed out. What?
No, continue.
What?
No,
All right,
continue.
Payne, continue acting like you're a drunk guy.
No.
All right. Finn Balor, yeah, he lost. I feel really bad for Finn because I really wish he would have won the world title there. It would have made sense. But at the same time, Seth hasn't held the title very long either. He's only held it for... How do you think it was?
The way I thought they were going to do it is that they have Finn win, and then they can just keep sowing the seeds for him and Damien to eventually turn on each other, and then Damien can cash in on Finn and take the title. But,
yeah.
Okay.
People were saying Finn should win and Damian Priest should immediately cash in, but I was one of those guys who were against it, because I would have said, let Finn win the title and have the seeds continue to develop between the two, not have them lose it right away.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about the Judgment Day later. We're going to talk about the triple threat match for the Women's Championship. Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair. They had a match. Midway toward the match, there was a spot where Charlotte tossed Bianca over the top rope. Bianca landed awkward on her knee, and it looked like she had a legit knee injury. She had all of us fooled. But eventually Bianca came back. And she continued the match. She won the match, looking like she had that bum knee. But then, when the opportunity was there, Io Sky and Bayley came out with the Money in the Bank contract, took out Charlotte, took out Asuka, tried to go after Bianca. Bianca got smacked in the face and the knee with the briefcase. Io cashed in. She did a moonsault, and now Io Sky is the new women's champion, which was a really big feel-good moment.
I agree, and Dakota Kai obviously joined them in the ring after the match. She looks like she's healthy, walking again after tearing her ACL yet again. But thankfully, we didn't have Bianca have the title after the show, because that would have just been so annoying, because she just can't.
I'm gonna say this:
a record world title run. We don't need another Bianca world title run. We just need to keep her building towards this heel turn that she's supposedly gonna do. And Io Sky, congratulations, well done.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Io Sky is one of the best female wrestlers in the world right now. She is so incredible. She's one of the best.
She moves differently compared to her peers. She just seems to be a bit quicker and a bit snappier than the rest.
I'm so glad she got the title.
those years and years of honing her craft in Japan with Stardom and wherever else she worked, and eventually coming to WWE and all that, and NXT, being a women's champion there, and then coming up to the main roster with Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai. Obviously, were booked a bit meh, a bit poorly, but luckily a year later, a year down the line, she's women's world champion.
The thing is, at the same time, I also kind of feel bad for Asuka because ever since returning at the Royal Rumble, it felt like we were going to get this monster heel run from her where she was going to be a dominant champion, but it ended up leading to nothing. I feel like the momentum dropped when she lost to Bianca at WrestleMania because everyone thought Asuka was going to win there because of the new character. But it didn't happen.
And then it happened at Night of Champions, and then after that it was just the feud with Bianca. The continued feud was a bit meh. All the segments they had felt like the same. It ended up with Asuka misting Bianca, and then she had talk show appearances and the Grayson Waller effect. It was just like doing stuff. Like, I appreciate they are still kind of trying to portray Asuka like she is some crazy chick. Absolutely loose cannon, just misting people left and right, but it's not really, which is a pain because Asuka, again, one of the more talented women on the roster in ring-wise, and just can't really catch a break.
Yeah, I agree. Trey Lucado said, I'm going to be honest, I was proud of Io winning, but Bianca winning, I was not surprised. That's fair.
At least that it lasted a few seconds, eh? Eh?
Yeah. It lasted only a minute. Not only does Bianca have the longest reign of champion in recent memory, but she also has one of the shortest title reigns in recent memory.
Yep.
So it begs the question, like, do they go to Asuka and Io Sky straight away, or do they go to Io Sky and Bianca Belair?
I feel like Asuka because I feel like WWE wants to continue to sell the knee injury for Bianca.
Yeah, I think that'd be the smart way to do it. It's sort of like a dream match between Io and Asuka, the way they've been building them to having confrontations.
Charlotte Flair is also there too. If she's not gonna, if she's still around, Charlotte Flair is also there as well.
Yeah, but I suppose the way I would do it, the way they should do it is Io hold the title or holds onto the title for a bit, and I suppose then Bayley switches up on her.
Yeah, I feel like she's gonna hold on to the title until Bayley eventually turns on her, which is probably gonna happen.
So at the moment, Bayley seems like the supportive friend, like she's proud of her and all that stuff, and then eventually it'll lead to her being jealous and it's like, that should be me, blah blah blah.
She could turn. I see that happening.
He did trade, but that was just for a promo, unless the Miz was her plan and her plan didn't work out. But I think we now have to talk about the main event, which, according to the online wrestling community, seemed controversial, which was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in tribal combat for the undisputed title. The reason a lot of people were complaining about it was, one, apparently there was a rule where no Bloodline member could get involved, yet Solo and Jimmy Uso were involved in the match. And two, at the end of the match where it seemed like Jey was going to win, Jimmy Uso, his own twin brother, turned on Jey, costing him the match.
Which was...
It felt really weird. And sad.
Here's the thing, right? We've been discussing off camera about this a lot. Like when we've been watching Raw this past week, some of us anyway. And actually, we weren't here for Raw, never mind. Doesn't matter. Anyway, in the server, we were all like sharing our bit. Well, not all of us, some of us, but for me, this doesn't really make sense because Jimmy Uso was the one who started everything at Night of Champions because he kicked Roman in the face, and then eventually Jey flipped on it. On SmackDown, a few weeks later, kicking him in the face, so you out on that too, bang. And then Jimmy Uso all of a sudden comes back, kicks him in the mouth, but I suppose there is a certain way they're going to do this, which is that they'll be like, Jimmy's jealous of Jay. Jay gets opportunities while Jimmy doesn't. Therefore, Jimmy must turn. Jimmy kick Jay. Bam. But tomorrow night,
feel like
SmackDown, Jimmy's supposed to acknowledge Roman again, so who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I personally don't think it's gonna happen. Roman, I think Jimmy's gonna go on a solo run.
Yeah, me too.
He's not gonna acknowledge Roman Reigns. He's gonna say that he's gonna be doing all of this for himself and that he's jealous of Jay.
Well, apparently a creative force within WWE wants to drag Jimmy and Jay out to do a brother versus brother match at WrestleMania. But personally, like, do you really want to drag this out for 8 months? Because I don't think they can.
They did the same thing with Rey and Dominic Mysterio.
They did, but that was easier to do. This is like...
Was it?
I don't know, because there's not a whole lot going on around them, whereas, like, there's not going to be filler feuds in between, because Dominic had his filler feuds in between with the Judgment Day, where they had Edge and Beth Phoenix and Edge again. And then, then there was Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, but I'm not sure whether they can do... I suppose they might do Jay versus Solo at some point, maybe...
You know what I've heard people say when it came to Survivor Series coming up?
Yeah.
People were saying that now that the Usos split up and such, there could be a fatal four-way match with Roman taking on Jimmy, Jay, and Solo.
But for that to happen, Solo needs to tell them Roman too.
Yeah,
No, the thing is, I feel like
minutes on point.
not necessarily, because I think if that were to be the case, I feel like you could put in spots where Roman and Solo work together for a little bit, and then you could see a point where Solo covers one of the Usos, and you see Roman get pissed with it, and he starts yelling at Solo, asking why are you covering him? What are you doing? You could start seeds of dissension like that.
Yeah.
You could do that.
That would hold off on Solo farming Roman until Royal Rumble, I guess.
Yeah. But that was SummerSlam, everybody. What would you give your ratings for the show?
I would say a 7.5 out of 10.
I'll go for
7.5. I'd say 7.5
It's
for
a
me.
solid 8 for me.
I'll go for a 7 out of 10.
Now,
All right.
so Vega and Noble were tied, right?
Yes. Vega and Noble were tied for first place, but the champion was decided by wheel spin. You weren't there for that, Peyton, I don't think.
No. Who is
So,
the Wrestle Arc champion?
I will say it. No. Your winner of SummerSlam with a record of 6-2 and new Wrestle Arc champion, Christian Vega.
Oh.
Yeah, boy.
Nicely done, Vega.
I'm champion once again. Woo!
Vega
And
pops
Now that we're
He's-
finished talking,
Love to see it.
And he's
Victory
defending
speech.
it, and he's defending
Victory
it at what, All In?
screech.
Speech. Sweet victory.
I think. Victory! I think no one
Oh.
is victory.
Victory
Hey, you know what?
screech!
I want my title back.
Well, whilst you were probably one of the longest reigning champions we've had in a little while.
I'm the only person to defend the title twice in a row, actually.
Yeah,
True.
good for
That's
you.
more than that, but yeah.
I won it at a Forbidden Door and not Forbidden Door. Double or Nothing in Night of Champions, and I retained the title at Forbidden Door and Money in the Bank.
And the next time it will be defended will be All In.
All In, and then the
Yeah.
following week, they will have to defend it again at All Out.
And I will not be here for that because I will be in the arena.
Liam will be at All
Yeah!
In.
That's right.
I guess you
You're
could
man.
say Liam. I guess you
I'm
could say
man.
Liam is all in for All In.
I am indeed. Yes.
He is indeed all in for All In.
I'm all in
Exact.
inside Wembley Stadium.
Trey gave the show a 9 out of 10 SummerSlam, but now, why don't we
Fair
talk
enough.
about Monday Night Raw?
Let's do it.
Several things happened on Monday Night Raw. It began with Cody saying, "So, Minneapolis, what do you want to talk about?" Seth comes out to interrupt Cody, saying he wants to return the favor for Cody and maybe offer him a World Heavyweight title shot. But then Judgment Day comes out with Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, and Damian Priest. They're chatting a bunch of stuff, and then all of a sudden Finn Balor comes in out of nowhere and attacks Seth. Sami Zayn comes out as well, and it sets up a 6-man main event tag match. Cody, Seth, and Sami versus just Judgment Day. But that's not the only thing that would happen. I think the first thing we should talk about is probably one of the best promos in recent memory between The Miz and LA Knight.
Yeah.
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 I'm not going to lie.
Let me talk to him.
Normally, when you have a promo against The Miz, it's really hard to fight back against The Miz. But LA Knight, would you say he held his own against The Miz?
Absolutely, he did.
Who would you say won between The Miz and LA Knight?
I'd say honor's even, honestly. You know, like, there was a whole thing where Miz was like, I just see an attitude era fanboy with cosplaying in the
Playing
ring.
cosplay in my ring.
And then basically LA Knight said you have tiny balls because I'm using you as a stepping stone. I'm not talking about your stepping stones down there. You know, that sort of thing.
He also said you're safe because when you came in, everyone knew that they could kick you around and kick you out of the locker room, and he took it.
But LA Knight's not that kind of guy. He's a dangerous man.
Papa ain't take no mess.
You do not. Honestly, though, I really can't wait for this feud. Like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of good promo battles and stuff. For me, LA Knight versus The Miz is like a dream, ideal feud. Two of the best on the stick in the company. Both fairly solid in the ring. Even though some people, for some reason, like to criticize both their work in the ring, but they just do what they're good at, you know?
They have both in-ring skills.
They do indeed.
They're both really solid in the ring.
The way I see it,
LA Knight
comes out on top of this one, because I feel like they're actually pushing him now, because the fact they're even putting him with The Miz suggests that they kind of think highly of him now, because The Miz is now there to put younger guys over, even though LA Knight is so that's the point. He's like fairly fresh in his WWE tenure, and they want to finally push him. Push.
Trey Lucado says LA Knight is definitely a megastar. He needs to have a title run.
Yeah.
I would love to see the championship.
Yeah.
But this has happened on Raw. Rhea Ripley got attacked by Raquel Rodriguez. She got help from Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae too, which was a bit surprising.
Well, given that Dexter Lumis is apparently like having a little hiatus to appear on a TV show, and Johnny Gargano probably still injured, I think. You know, they got both of them to have something to do at least for the very moment, but yeah, I mean, seems like they're actually going to do Raquel versus Rhea at Payback. I nearly said Backlash. That was in May earlier this year. So.
Yes.
But
and we were talking about Payback is going to be something really good.
Hopefully.
But we were talking about the Intercontinental title before. Like we said, there was a number one contenders match, which Chad Gable won, and he's going to be facing Gunther in the future for the IC title.
He beat Matt Riddle.
He beat Matt Riddle, Ricochet, and Tommaso Ciampa.
And I feel like, for me, that was probably one of the better TV matches all year. Greatly benefited from the first hour of Raw being commercial free. They both all got to get their stuff in without having to break stuff up. It's a commercial break, whatever.
Four incredible WWE talent doing it in the ring.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was phenomenal, and Chad Gable came out on top.
And whether or not he dethrones Gunther next month, we shall see. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
he won't. Maybe it'll just take place on an episode 4 and he'll get a good showing and then defeat, and then they'll move on to the next thing. But, I don't know. I would personally like to see Chad take the title off anything, and I thought it would be a really good, feel-good crowning moment.
There was also a backstage argument between Finn Balor and Damian Priest, with JD McDonough standing by them and getting involved in their little argument. So we might see JD McDonough involved with the Judgment Day very soon.
Well, whether or not this leads to Finn and JD being a tag team, or JD and Damian are the ones who end up kicking Finn out, like, this really could go either way, to be honest, but, you know, I think, like, obviously it stems from where JD's, like, that briefcase that Damian has is getting between the both of you, you should get rid of it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, Rhea's just standing there saying, "Oi, shut the fuck up," basically. I'm trying to get them to stop arguing, can you please stop? And
Yeah.
I feel like they were cool for now again, sort of thing, but then obviously when it came to the main event later that night, it didn't seem like it.
Yeah. But then, before the main event, Shinsuke Nakamura came off a big victory against Bronson Reed, and while he was getting an interview, JD McDonough attacked Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura had to step in to replace Sami Zayn for the main event tag team match.
It doesn't really look good for Sami either, does it?
Huh?
Doesn't really look good for Sami though, does it? If you look at his elbow.
Yeah, he had a big bump on his elbow, similar to what John Cena had 10 years ago.
Whether or not it's like a torn tricep or bursitis, like, I really don't know, but again, it really does like throw the tag team title situation up in the air. Like, if both him and Kane are both out injured long term, could lead to them being vacated, unfortunately.
Yeah. We also had a match between Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler beat Zoe Stark in the match, and I think this is where they should start pushing Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, it did, obviously.
Because Shayna Baszler.
The match did stem from like a segment where Becky Lynch was cutting a promo.
Yeah. Becky and Shayna have history as well.
So there's like Becky and Shayna could have another feud at some point, I guess. Because she mentioned they had unfinished business, so.
Yeah, maybe. It could be fun. And
just
then,
don't make it vampiric again.
Yeah. We also had the Viking Raiders take on a returning New Day. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston came back. It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Whoa.
Peyton, what did you think of the New Day coming back? Peyton.
Good.
Okay. What else did you think of Monday Night Raw? Because we were talking about a bunch of other stuff. You really seemed zoned out.
How would you know that?
Because you haven't been saying anything at all? When we were recapping Raw? Anyways, how about this, Peyton? We got the main event. Judgment Day taking on Cody Rhodes, Shinsuke Nakamura, and... Wait, who did I say? Cody Rhodes, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the World Heavyweight Champion. I forgot. Who ended up winning the match? Was it the... Oh, yeah, it was the babyface. Cody Rhodes got the win for his team. And eventually, when Seth had his back turned, Shinsuke Nakamura nailed him with a Kinshasa.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
So, we now have a heel Shinsuke Nakamura who will most likely be Seth's next challenger for the World Heavyweight title. What do you guys think of Shinsuke Nakamura's heel turn? Was it the right move or no?
I'll let Vega go first.
Oh, me?
All right, Vega. Yeah, Vega. Do you think Shinsuke turning heel was the right move, and what did you think of it?
I mean, honestly, Shinsuke as a heel again could be interesting, despite his last heel run being not great. But I'm interested in seeing where this heel Shinsuke will go.
Yeah.
I agree.
Honestly, I agree. This heel run has to be better than the last heel run he had because the heel run he had from 2018 to 2020 was lackluster.
Nah.
He didn't really get any success
Well, at
other
least
than being a U.S. champion, nice champion, tag team champion.
Intercontinental.
That was it.
I think that man is a babyface though. Maybe.
Yeah. He
Anyway.
won the IC title again as a babyface, but that was Monday Night Raw. Did any of you guys happen to watch AEW Dynamite?
I was going to watch it this
didn't,
morning,
but I knew what happened though.
Yeah.
I watched most of it, not all of it.
All I know is that
Most of it?
Adam Cole and MJF had another little segment where basically MJF said if this is the 80s because of how pale, white and skinny you are, Hogan would have tried to snort you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he basically
And,
compared Adam Cole to cocaine.
We also had Roderick Strong show up and looked like he sided with the Kingdom.
Well, you know, he's been trying to get Adam to come back to him for a few weeks, but it looks like Adam Cole and MJF is still going to be a pairing because they're going to work double duty at All In because on the pre-show they are facing Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships.
Poor Adam Cole. It's like he's got to deal with his ex.
Yeah.
It's like dealing with an ex-girlfriend you broke up with.
Well, I suppose it gives something
Take me back
to do to attach him to a heel stable such as them.
A Lin Kuei's flame is not easy.
The Jericho Appreciation Society is broken up.
Oh, yep.
They all walked out.
It's
on
over.
The
Jericho,
JAS is done.
It's
which
over.
means this will open up Chris Jericho to go
R.I.P. the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Jericho said he was going to give his answer next week on Dynamite. Whether he would join the Don Callis family.
It looks like more than likely it's going to be yes, though, because all his friends have walked out on him. So there is
Also, now that the Young Bucks are back in the tag team division, they had a match against the Hardys in which they beat the Hardys, and then they had a confrontation with FTR.
Isn't this their third match, the Bucks and the FTR coming up at All In?
Yeah, this is the trilogy.
Are they 1-1?
They're 1-1.
So that probably means the Bucks are going to win, right?
I think FTR is going to retain.
I think FTR should retain as well, but like they've also been champions for a little while. But again, I just can't wait to see this match in person. It's going to be an absolute barn. So, I'm just going to flex on you guys every week that I'm going, but not that many of you care. I've tried flexing on lead and they really disappoint, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Also announced for All In, we're going to have a fatal four-way for the women's championship. Toni Storm is already in the match. We had a match between Anna Jay and Hikaru Shida. And if Hikaru Shida retained the title, she would be defending at All In, which she did successfully retain. So Hikaru Shida and Toni Storm are in the match. We're going to have a match between Saraya and Sky Blue to see who will be in the match. And then Britt Baker versus someone else to determine who will be the fourth member in that match.
I think Britt Baker. Hang on, let me get the card.
Yeah, because I forgot who Britt Baker is facing.
I think Saraya's already beaten Sky Blue because it says here she's already in it.
Oh, that must have been a Rampage spoiler then.
Yeah, hang on, let me. Right, so yeah, Saraya apparently beat Sky Blue, and Dr. Britt Baker is facing the Bunny. So it looks like it's going to be Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida versus Saraya versus Dr. Britt Baker D&D.
Yeah, it makes sense for Saraya to be there considering it's in London.
It's a big homecoming for her. I mean, she hasn't wrestled for a couple months actually, I don't think. So.
And also, there's been continued stuff going on between the Best Friends, the Lucha Brothers, and the Blackpool Combat Club.
So there might be like a three-way team match at All In between them lot.
You know what I think this culminates to?
What?
What?
I think Orange Cassidy is going to drop the international title to Jon Moxley.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
I see Jon Moxley being the one to beat Orange Cassidy for the title.
Really?
the whole story of Cassidy's feud has been, even with all these injuries, he's somehow managed to defend his championship. But when you step into somebody who's as comfortable creating violence as Jon Moxley is, very few come out unscathed, and this might be the part where Cassidy's reign gets chopped short.
I think Jon Moxley can also help elevate the title as well. Not saying Orange Cassidy wasn't a good champion. He's been a really good champion, but
Yes.
I feel like Jon Moxley can level up that championship as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The thing with Orange Cassidy, he's had
Mhm.
the caliber of matches which have allowed that title to be a good championship in the first place. Jon Moxley will just take it to the next level.
Yeah. Jon Moxley can make it mean more.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the one. Vega, what the fuck?
I don't get this.
Alright, you know what?
Just
Alright, you know what?
one
Alright, you know what?
fire-
Forget about it, forget about it.
Team plays too.
You can explain it.
Let's just forget about it.
He's just making sure.
Alright. But, anything else that's happened in wrestling recently? Any wrestling news?
I think that's all.
Rhea
right?
Ripley and Buddy Murphy got engaged.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
They got
Yeah.
engaged.
Well, all the
Good for
jokes
them.
were is that Buddy was finally feeling the
Or
pressure
Dom-
from
Dom.
and had to propose. It's going to be a nightmarish wedding,
Mm.
that's for sure. Especially if like Dom comes in saying, "I object."
Dom is just gonna be there like, can I kiss the bride?
The Buddy's going to be like, "Nah, mate, fuck off."
Just gonna V-trigger him.
Yeah, give him that finisher he does. Where he spins him around and drops him like that sort of thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Might even have Aleister Black as one of his best men to deliver a black mass. Who knows?
Ooh, yeah. But, I think that's a wrap. Do you guys think it's a wrap? Nothing else to talk
Mhm.
about?
Yeah, I
don't
think
know,
it's a
I
wrap.
think it's a wrap. By the way, did you get
Alright.
Did you get Radio's at and planning, Ross?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Now that we're done, I can now say we would like to thank SeatGeek for sponsoring the Wrestle Arc Podcast. Go to SeatGeek.com or download SeatGeek on your mobile devices today. SeatGeek has tickets that you can buy for Broadway shows, comedy shows, sporting events, what have you. Not only does it give you the best seats, but it also gives you the best deal so you don't get screwed over when you're buying tickets. Be sure to go to SeatGeek.com, that's SeatGeek.com, or download it on your mobile devices today. Also, we would like to thank TeePublic for sponsoring the video. TeePublic is where you can get the official merchandise for Wrestle Arc Podcast. And guys, we've got new merch. We've got brand new merch. We've got 2 new shirts, one saying Wrestle Arc Nitro, and another saying Raw is Wrestle Arc. Obviously, referencing the Monday Night Wars, excuse my English, that took place in the 90s. So if you want to get those shirts, you can get them now at tpublic.com. That is tpublic.com/WrestleArc. That will be in the description below. But guys, we would like to thank you for watching today's podcast. Be sure to check out everybody's socials down below in the description. Be sure to check out the gaming channel as well.
Ross,
See the
check
content that's
everything
there.
you can.
I know, I did. Or wait. What the fuck? Also, before we go, we got breaking news as Triple H will no longer serve on the board of directors for WWE after the merger.
Huh.
So yeah, there is that. He just goes back to, just the creative capacity thing. Oops.
He's just gonna be doing creative.
Yep.
We could get a bunch of stuff going on. We don't know if it's good or bad, but we'll find out. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Check our socials in the description below. Go buy our merch. Do all of that. Like, subscribe. Help us on the road to 300 subscribers. We've passed 200 a week ago. Now we are on the road
15 right now.
300.
We're at 215
Help us get
right
there.
now.
Yeah, help us get there. Help this channel grow faster and
Do it
faster,
now.
guys. We'd like to thank you
That's a
guys for watching the Wrestle Arc Podcast, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Later.